Hello, everybody. I'm Melissa, and welcome back to Book Bar, and welcome to kind of my last really 2023 video. I still have one more that I will be doing where I do my 2022 rewind redo, but this is kind of my last 2023 stat type video, and it's a two-part video. So I'm going to be doing this, and then I will be doing a 2024 continuation of what I talk about in this one. So this is going to be the series that I completed in 2023, as well as my most read authors and my favorite new to me authors that I'm going to continue reading. And then so the next video will be, well, not the next video I post, but the part 2 of this, which will be at the end of the week. So I'm posting this one on Sunday, that one will be on Saturday. That video will be series I want to prioritize in 2024 that I started in the past couple years, and then authors that I want to try to read in 2024 that are new to me. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna do the authors first, and then I'll do the series second, because I will split screen that, and I struggle with that. So, but so my most read authors last year, I read 11 Tahereh Mafi books. I binged the entire Shatter Me series and all the novellas and everything, so it ended up being 11 books. And then I read 10 Laura Pavlov books, 8 Catherine Cowles books, 5 Lucia Franco books, which really actually ended up being 9 because I reread for the first 4 books in the Off Balance series, which is what I read from when I read that series. And then 6 Holly Black books, 6 Carissa Broadbent books, 6 Elsie Silver. Only 3 of those were new. 4 of them were new. And then I reread Flawless and Heartless. I also reread Powerless, Reckless, and Hopeless all last year also. So I read a lot, but I only counted my first read of any book by an author from that year. Obviously, if I reread a book from 2022 or 2021 or anything, I still counted that. But I read 5 R.S. Gray books, 5 Brittany C. Cherry books, and 5 Sophie Lark books, and then 7 Samantha Young. So I didn't have it in most read order. It just kind of was all around whatever. But yeah, so those were my most read. Any book, most of those authors had 5 or more. I had a couple authors where I read 4, 3, 2. I do want to prioritize this year reading author backlists. So if I find an author I love that has a lot of books out, I want to read more of them. I did find a ton of authors. There are quite a few on here on my next list, which is my favorite new to me authors from 2023. There are quite a few that only have one book. They were a debut author and I loved their book and I want to read them all. So we're gonna get into my favorite new to me authors. This is just kind of in order of how I read them. So Lauren Asher, I read her first 3 of her Dirty Air series and I loved them, and I have heard nothing but good things about all her other series, so I'm excited to continue. Tara DeWitt, I read her entire backlist last year. So I read all 4 books that she has published, which isn't a ton, but I read all 4. Ashley Winstead, I read 2 of her thrillers and 1 of her romances, and I had a great time with all 3 of them. So I want to continue. Lucia Franco, like I said, I need to read more from her. She is very taboo, fun romances. Kimberly Lemming, I loved the Mead Mishap series, and I know that there's a couple more I need to read, and then she has a couple other books that I want to try out. Jiffy Kate, I read their New Orleans Revelers series, and I want to read more. I've also met them a couple times, and they're just the nicest ladies. So Darcy Coates, if I'm going to read a horror book, it's going to be a Darcy. I tried one other horror book this year, and I absolutely hated it, but the 2 or 3 Darcys that I read, I loved, and gave them 4 or 5 stars. So I definitely want to read more from Darcy. Hannah Bottom Young, I've actually, this is kind of a lie, because I did read Set the Record Straight at the end of 2022, which is her sapphic holiday novella, but I read all of her big novella, all of her regular novels this year. So I'm counting it as a new to me author, especially because it was the end, it was the last day of December I read. The last day of December 2022 that I read Set the Record Straight. So Hannah Bottom Young, I read her whole backlist, which, not that it's that extensive, but Rosie Adams, I have only read 1 book, but I want to read her other novellas. I've heard nothing but good things about them, and I need to read them during the next novellathon, or just when I need a novella, when I need a short book, when I need a quick book. I need to pick up more Rosie Adams, because I loved Birthday Shot. Avery Keelan, I've read, I think, everything she has published. this year. I could be wrong. I might be like short one, but Sarah Samuels, she wrote the first 2 books in the Time Born series. While not like the best, I just have fun with them. Like, they're fun, they're a good time. And Sarah Samuels is like the nicest person, so yes. Ava Hunter, I read Baby Moon and Bust and her new Runaway Ranch. I want to go back and read her other like Nashville Star series this year. Samantha Young, I binged the entire Adair Family series after reading Beyond the Thistles, and then I also read Among the Heather. Britt Benson, I read her Next Life duet, and I want to read more. She writes very angsty romances, emotional romances, gut-wrenching romances, so always fun. Erin Langston, I read every book she put out this year, which were 2 of them were historical novellas, and then one was a historical romance novel, and it was fantastic. I absolutely adored it. Laura Pavlov, I binged both her series, or her 2 like newest series, Honey Mountain and Cottonwood Cove. Loved them both. I actually have a vlog where I read the entire Honey Mountain series, so I will link that up above. Julie Soto, she only has 1 book out. Loved it. I do want to go back and read her fanfic that she wrote on AO3. Brooke Montgomery, who I think was part of a writing duet, but now she writes on her own, and I loved her 2 books in her series, her Small Town series. Chloe Walsh, I read Keeping 13, and I am excited. I want to continue in The Boys of Tommen and maybe try her other series that she has. J.A. George, she writes Gothic Grove. She's a lovely human, and it's like a paranormal fantasy romance series, and each book follows a different couple, which is fun. And her next book comes out in February, and I will be getting an arc of it, and I'm excited because it's a polyamorous relationship, so that'll be fun. Madison Fox, of course, by Madison Fox on YouTube. She wrote Good Game, and I am excited to continue and read the rest of the series. They all sound so good. I loved The System. Also, McKay Marie. Oh, hey, it's McKay. I loved Take You Down. I'm excited to retake my hand. She posted her like publishing schedule for this year, and it's just, every book sounds phenomenal, and I can't wait for the rest of the books in the Whispering Nothing series, as well as her sports romance. She's a reader of romance, so she writes good romance. Like, I enjoyed her stories. I loved her love stories. I had a great time. QB Tyler is an author that I tried this year, and I didn't love 1 book, but I really enjoyed the 2nd book, and I want to read the prequel to The Worst Kept Secret. I do want to read that, but it is like Christmassy, so I don't know. Bryn Weaver, I read Butcher and Blackbird, and I want to go back and read The Black Sheep, I think is the other book like of hers that's pretty popular. Ivy Fairbanks, her 1 book is Morbidly Yours. Absolutely adored that book so much. I still think about it all of the time. Like, I just loved it. Be Love, she released like 2 novellas that I just absolutely adored this year, and she has like a crazy extensive backlist that I want to read more from. Peyton Corinne wrote one of my 2 favorite books from last year, Unsteady. She sadly is not publishing anything this year because Unsteady got picked up by a publisher, so that's going to be releasing, which is phenomenal. Like, I'm so happy for her, but nothing's coming out in 2024, and that just makes me so sad because I loved her writing and loved Unsteady. It was tied for my favorite book of the year. So N.M. Patel, I read 1 book from, and I really loved it, and I want to go back and read the first book in that series. Deanna Gray, I read Outdrawn, and I loved it, and I want to go back and read more from her. Albany Archer, another debut author who is just like such a sweet person, and her book was phenomenal. Anne Einerson, I think that's how you say it. She wrote If You Give a Grump a Holiday Wish List. It was a super fun time. And I don't know if she has anything else out, but she is publishing more in like that world from like that universe. And I'm excited, that small town world, and I'm excited for that. And then I have 2 more. Michelle Stimson, she has like some really great holiday Christmas novellas on Audible Plus that I just had a great time. They're closed door, but they're fun. They're very much like a Hallmark movie in a Christmas book. And I had a great time, and I will probably, I don't know if she has anything else written, but I'll definitely like look for those, and definitely there's more holiday ones that I didn't get to that I want to read. And then Lauren Roberts wrote Powerless, and that book was just phenomenal, and I cannot wait to read Reckless. So yeah, those are the authors that I loved this year. And now I'm going to do my series that I finished. Bear with me while I try to pull up my screen. So I am going to be tiny, and my series spreadsheet will be big. But I am terrible at getting it timed up, so I'm going to be quiet for a second and while I work on getting this. Okay, so I should be recording. And so I have to go back and like reorganize it, but I lost my mouse, so I'm not able to do that right now. But the first 2 books up here are like series that I DNF'd this year. And then I have series that I completed in 2021, completed in 2022. And then so the series that I completed in 2023, I finally completed the Underworld series. I read all 8 books, ending with Black. I had started that series in late 2022 and ended it. I read most of it in 2020, or late 2021, read most of it in 2022. No. I don't know what read most of it in 2022 and then finished it in 2023. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I finished the Queens and Monsters series by J.T. Geisinger. I just had 1 book left. I finished the Stay I Spell series. I had read half, and I read the other half this year. Chestnut Springs, obviously was caught up with them up to where they were. I just kept keeping up with them. Ruthless Rivals by Kate Bateman. I believe that book came out in 2023, so that's why. The Twisted series, I finished Twisted Lies pretty early on in the year because I wanted to read the next series, and I knew Twisted Lies was loosely connected. So I finished the Hoop series. I read Blockshot and Hookshot. I needed a break after reading Longshot because that book was a lot. The Part of Your World, I don't know if there'll be any more, so that's why I have it there. I know Abby Jimenez's next book is not a part of this world. The War of Lost, and then so these are all the book series, and then I also finished the Tattered and Torn series. I need to move that up. But I had only read 1 book in that series last year, or in 2022. So, and then I started and finished. Oh, I also the Element series. Sorry, I read that backwards. I read book 4 and then I read book 1, which that's not really like, none of those are, they're not even interconnected standalones. They really are just standalones that their titles just connect like loosely. So, but I did start and finish the War of Lost Hearts trilogy, the Love and Hate, To Love Jason Thorne, to Hate Adam Connor, the Shatter Me series, the New Orleans Revelers series, the Mason Jar duet, which those ones are really like, you should read book 1 and then book 2. Off Balance, which you have to read in order. The Adair Family, that one, it could all be read as standalones, but it is more fun if you read them all because you see all of the couples. The Bargainer series, the Aurelian Cycle, which was fantastic. I had a great time with that. It's YA dragons fantasy with a little bit of romance. The Perfect Game trilogy, which I kind of want to go back and reread, like, and read her, like, other, because Samantha Christie writes, like, trilogies, and they all kind of connect, like, the first trilogy connects to the second trilogy, which connects to the Perfect Game trilogy, which connects to, there's, like, a Firefighter series of trilogies, so they all kind of connect. This is actually incorrect, because there is another book in the Wildcat Hockey, and I didn't know that when I did this, so I do need to actually change that, and I think there is going to be 1 more book written also. So that's going to go there, and I will have to move that. I read the Swift Hat Trick trilogy, and I think there might be 2 novellas, but I read 1. The Honey Mountain series, The Next Life duet, the next series by Hannah Bonham Young. I have it here because I think she said she's probably not going to write another book in that series, but it's not necessarily like done for sure. And then Cottonwood Cove, and then a series that I'm like caught up on and had read throughout the year. The Bergmans, the last one comes out this year. The Varsity Dads, The Fallen Men. We finally got Caution to the Wind, and I read it, and I'm caught up with that. The Lost and Found series, which Ashes of You comes out in February, and I'm so excited for that. The Highland series by Samantha Young with Beyond the Thistles and Among the Heather. The Luna Sisters, I really liked that. Rules of the Game, I think this might be done, but I don't know, so I'm leaving it there for now. Hopefully one day we get The Consequence. Kings of Sin. The New York Lions, that actually I need to move because I'm no longer caught up because the Shake Off came out this year, or came out like late last year. Kings of the Ice, I'm so excited for Daddy P's story. Treasure State Wildcats, The System, Gothic Grove, all of these were like, oh, this one is no longer caught up. This is what happens when I do this, is I forget about some of these things. Like, I only do this like maybe once every couple months. Like, I'll go in and like fix things, and clearly I have not done it in a while. I did not do it in December. The second book for Feathers to the Sky, I need to read. This one is not caught up anymore because there is another book out. I forget what it's called. I don't know that I'm going to continue it though either, so we'll see. Leather and Lark comes out this year, and I am so excited for it. Cannot wait. Fourth Wing, why is that? That one is caught up. Those are not the right color. But yeah, those are just like the series that I'm in the middle of. And then this is like, or series that I'm caught up on. Sorry. And then this is all of like the series that I'm currently reading. I have decided to DNF this series. Izzy Happy for Now has a whole thing about author bad behavior, or just bad luck in the series. Like, I guess further on in the series, they are not, it's about a member of the KKK. So I don't think I will continue that series. So I know I'm not going to, so I do need to move that to the DNF series. The ones in purpley pink, like the light purple, are ones that I really want to continue. The gray are like probably not gonna continue, don't really care. And then the whites are just like when I'm feeling like I need to go read a series, I could always go pick one of those. So yeah, these are just, and then I have started a couple, and I do, like when I started, I still put it that year's color. So this year's color is this blue. Any book that I've read in 2024, and then I also have already started, and I need to reorganize things. I have already started books this year, and then, like I said, like the gray are like DNFs, and then this dark gray are books that I DNF'd while reading, but I could be convinced to go back and reread. Whether I just wasn't jiving with it at the time, or I just, like, the audio wasn't working for me. I could be convinced to go back maybe if like you convince me. So the Shadows and Crown series by S.M. Gaither, the Playing for Keeps series by Becca Mack, The First in the City by Jen McMahon, the Spider's Mate trilogy, and the Don't Let Me series by Kelsey Wright. If you think that I should give those books another try, let me know and I will. But yeah, that is all I have for now. I'm gonna make myself big again. That is all I have for now. If you made it to the end of this video, leave me a strawberry emoji because this is right here. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. It really helps me out. And I'll talk to you all in the next one. Bye.